You've probably played a board game or two like Settlers of Catan or Wingspan, intricate boxes of rules to bring out the best and worst of your friends. But have you ever stopped to consider how they're made? I just got back from Protospiel Twin Cities 2025, where designers from all over the state come to playtest each other's games to perfect them for your table. Designers and publishers bring their games at all stages of development. Some are in the process of being published, while others were created there on scratch paper that weekend. I gave designers 30 seconds each to tell you the genius of their game. Stick around to see the best of what Protospiel Twin Cities 2025 had to offer. Let's start with a game of holiday cheer, upcoming from Garland Games.
This is Rap Battle. This is a game that comes inside of a Christmas ornament about elves building and wrapping toys in a workshop. So you roll dice, Yahtzee style, to see which toys you build. As soon as you build a toy, you will gain the ability on the bottom. That ability will be part of what you can do until you wrap the toy. Wrapping the toy using the wrap icons will turn it into points, but you will lose the ability on the card.
In my design, Chimera Clash, the Grand Alchemist of the Academy has died. Now, you and his other apprentices must compete to claim the right to replace him. Using your mastery of the alchemical arts, you must create and combine creatures into fierce chimeras to overcome your rivals and claim the prestigious title of Grand Alchemist. Everything is a resource in this creature battler. Your cards provide resources based on where they are: deck, hand, discard, or creature board. Only by weighing the costs of equivalent exchange will you come out on top in this magical duel of difficult choices. This next game provides betrayal and intrigue as a social deduction game.
I am Luke, this is Master Plan. So we are the secret council that decides what actually goes on in this city, and all the other factions come to us to try to curry our favor and influence. So we have a bunch of cards that can each be pointed one of two ways. So I can either be supporting the mystics or the radicals with this card, and with a hand of cards I can kind of mix and match what factions I want to support. During the game, we spend like half the game just moving around freely, negotiating with each other and making deals and alliances. And then we come back to the table, we predict who's gonna win, we all show our cards, and you get points based on guessing correctly what faction wins, and also being one of the people who brought them to power. Most money at the end wins.
Well, it doesn't have a development name yet. I would call this one The Race for the Seven Wonders of Civilization. This deck building game was the highlight of the event for me. I'm so glad I got to play it.
So my name is Brandon Rice, and the game I brought to Protospiel this year is a Civilization deck building game. It currently does not have a title. The general premise of the game is to advance through civilization by unlocking technology through this pyramid of cards. So each time a technology is unlocked, you pull off a stack of cards, and it gives you more options of cards to add to your deck as the game goes on.
This sea life-infused turf war between starfish and snails takes the prize for the most beautiful game at the event.
Hi, I'm Leslie, this is Sharon, and this is our game Coral Quarrel. In Coral Quarrel, it's an area control game with hidden factions where your goal is to increase your preferred coral colors to get the most points. So every person gets a card with coral factions on it. They're worth different amounts of points, and the points overlap. So part of the goal of the game is also to deduce what your opponents are doing. In order to play coral, you play coral in the direction on the card. You can also play creatures, which allow you to grow coral or remove coral or block your opponent.
Between its charming thematic mechanics to its scrappy fights over food, this raccoon game got some good laughs out of me.
Hi, I'm Cole Jackson, and this is One Man's Trash. In One Man's Trash, you're little raccoons that are running around the junkyard trying to avoid the human that owns the junkyard and grab as much food and junk as you can by kind of rolling dice and pressing your luck. You can kind of explore through and just kind of flip tiles and find critters and junk and different merchants and kind of try to get in and out as fast as you can without getting caught by the human.
Cats are bred. That's all that needs to be said here.
Hey, my name is Catloaf. My name is Chad. Do you want to roll some cats? All you do is you roll some cats. You throw them at the board, try to knock other people off, get loafs, because cats, when they loaf, people like it when they loaf. I don't know. Like, don't rub their belly.
Oh! Oh, you're strong.
If you're interested in board game design, either as a designer or just out of curiosity, please consider subscribing. Alright, we've got 3 in a row, all flatulence related. Somehow we all sat down at the table and happened to have games matching that theme. Each one of us brought a game that connected to beans, bowel movements, or farts, so it only made sense that we play them back to back. Enjoy this smelly set.
All right, I'm Jeremy. This is not my game though. This is Joe's game right over here. This is called Tooten and Hollerin'. Push your luck game. It is about building up the strongest, the smelliest, or the longest farts. But you have to be careful that you don't get too juicy of a fart because then you lose your hand. So the goal is to draw cards from the decks. You can either take a bite on your turn, or you can then digest the cards you have in your hand. Once everyone has digested their food, you kind of compare up who has the smelliest, the longest, or the strongest fart. And then whoever wins that category gets to keep that card. And then whoever has the most of their cards at the end wins the game.
Darn Tooten, designed by Scott Eaton, is a game that was inspired by a real-life Japanese art scroll about samurais farting on each other for combat. In this simple dexterity game, you move your cards around the field and then use other cards to waft at each other, trying to knock each other down. The first player to knock all others down by wafting cards at them is the winner. In this design of mine, not your grandma's chili, you are judges in the annual chili contest. The challenge is that some contestants have brought some red hot specials. Hot chilies are worth extra points, but if you have too many of them, you'll be forced to step away from the competition. The last judge remaining wins. In this Russian roulette inspired game, you'll deceive and manipulate the other judges so you're the last one standing. If you haven't got enough addictive playtime for match 3 games on your phone, check this one out.
Yeah, my name's Gilbert Nevels. Right now it's called Gem Duels. 1 to 4 player game. It's basically a match 3 tabletop game. There's different rarities of gems coming out, and you get points for collecting sets. Solitaire version is just playing against yourself, and then in multiplayer games you're manipulating the board to try and score points. You also get coins to use, and you can use different combos in the game to manipulate the board and score other points. There's luck and skill, so it kind of go back and forth in between games.
In this Theatric deck builder, you play the role of an ambitious film producer.
Hi, I'm Dennis Ramirez, and I am working on Primetime with Charlie Mack in here. Have you ever wanted to make a TV show? Of course you have. This is the game for you. In this deck builder, you get to play scenes like a commercial or a derivative scene in order to try and amass the most views. Doesn't seem that interesting or important? Add some crew, add some actors. That way your episodes start getting better, get more views. But of course, there can only be one at the end of a season, so the person with the most views wins.
3D printing is absolutely taking over the board game design space, and nothing shows that better than this home appliance combat game.
This is Junkernauts by Ananda. This is a game where you're playing as household appliances in a post-apocalyptic setting. You're moving around the board trying to take out your opponents. You can destroy furniture, you can set your opponents on fire, and your goal is to get as close to the opponent's end zone or their home base as you can. And you do that by moving around your bots and then attacking your nearby bots. You can destroy, you can take out their tools with the amendment arm, you can cleave them with the cleavers, or you can shoot them long range with some of the guns in the game. So the goal is to just attack your opponents, get towards their home base, and then earn points by moving the vending machine closer to the goal.
If you prefer reading charts and matching colors, this one's for you.
I'd like to talk to you guys about my game called Hexergy. It is a tile setting game that involves hexagonal tiles. These are the backs, these are the fronts, and the way that this game works is relatively simple. You will start off with a simple grid of like 4 of these tiles, and as you go along, you play extra tiles and you score points based on what tiles you bring together. So if I do this, you have red, orange, orange, purple. Red, orange is 2, orange, purple is 1. So that's a 3-point move. It's very simple, but it can be a lot of fun and very mind-boggling.
Then we have a simple card game with wacky cards and pun-filled plays.
Hi, I'm William Potratz, and this is I Challenge War. I Challenge Voigt is a player versus player card battle that focuses more on a silly aspect rather than a serious one. So each turn you'll just play one of your cards out on the board with a more pixelated vibe. It'll attack whatever cards across from it, then do its effect, and then your opponent gets to go. Very simple, very straightforward, just focuses on more on the fun rather than winning.
If you want to get your hands on a print and play of any of my games or get connected with board game designers, join my Discord and I can get you pointed in the right direction. Even if you're not a designer, we'll appreciate having you as part of the conversation. If you're a publisher wanting to hear more about any of the games in this video, including mine, shoot me an email at the address in the About Me. I'll do my best to connect you with the designer.